For 1,000 years, the Veltrax dominion ruled the stars. They were feared, respected, obeyed. No one challenged them. Not anymore. Many had tried in the past. Brave species, proud civilizations, all crushed. The Veltrax didn't just win wars. They erased their enemies. Cities turned to ash. Planets burned. Entire species vanished from history. They called themselves the Invincible Ones, and the galaxy believed them. High Lord General Vorak stood in the grand war hall of Veltrax Prime. A huge screen floated in front of him, showing bright stars and red outlines of controlled space. A young officer rushed in. "General," the officer said, nervous. "Something strange. A signal. Faint. Unknown origin." Vorak didn't even turn to look. "Another lost merchant? Pirates again?" "No, sir. It's different. It's moving fast. No ID. No response to contact." Vorak sighed. "Send a scout. A small one. If it's nothing, don't bother me again." The officer saluted and ran out. The Zircon 14, a light scout ship, moved through the edge of Veltrax space. The crew was bored. Nothing exciting ever happened here. This was far from any war zone, far from trouble. The captain, Lirok, yawned as he drank from his metal cup. "Another ghost signal," he said. "I bet it's space junk." "Maybe a broken ship," his co-pilot joked, "or an asteroid with a radio." Another laughed. They followed the signal. Then they saw it. At first it looked like a shadow, a dark shape moving between the stars, huge, silent. "Is that a ship?" one of them asked. "No lights? No transponder?" "But it's fast," said the sensor officer. His hands trembled. They zoomed. In the image cleared. It was a ship, but not like anything in Veltrax records. Sharp edges, dark armor, no symbols. No windows, just one glowing word in human language. Avenger. "Is that human?" someone whispered. Before anyone could answer, static. The feed cut. The Zircon 14 vanished. No signal, no explosion, no distress call, just silence. Back on. Veltrax Prime. General Vorak frowned. "What do you mean the scout disappeared?" "No wreckage, no trace. They just went dark." Vorak stood still, thinking. Then he spoke. "Send a cruiser, one with fighters. Something's out there." 3 hours later, the Tarnak cruiser jumped into the same region. Its scanners searched every corner of space. Nothing. No enemy ship. No signal. Just cold silence. Then, a whisper. Through the comms, a broken voice. One word. Wrong. "What was that?" the captain asked. "Unknown," replied the tech. "Came from inside our ship." Alarms blared. The ship's lights flickered. Then, quiet. The lights returned. Everything looked normal, but something was different. The cruiser turned and returned to base. What it didn't know was this: its black box was empty, its weapons were useless, its sensors blind. The human warship let it live. Just this once. Rumors spread across Veltrax space. The Zircon 14 was gone. The Tarnak cruiser came back, but changed. People whispered about a dark ship. No signal, no name, no mercy. The High Council laughed. "Stories," they said, "lies from the lower ranks." They continued their meetings, but deep in the military channels, some officers weren't. Laughing, they began digging, and what they found shocked them. Earth, a small old world at the edge of a forgotten system. Last known conflict, 87 years ago. Last known communication, 42 years ago. Current status, neutral, no threat. But then, one hidden report, a secret battle long ago. Veltrax had sent a probe to Earth. It never returned. No one noticed, no one cared. Until now. General Vorak stared at the old data. Humans? They've done nothing for decades. "They've been quiet," said Commander Jarek. "Too quiet. Maybe they were building something. added another. Like what? Jarek tapped the screen. A warship. Vorak laughed. One ship cannot defeat us, but the galaxy was watching. Other empires heard the whispers. They remembered what Earth had done in ancient times. How they fought back with anger and fire. How their weapons were unlike anything else. How they once made stars go dark. Maybe, just maybe, they hadn't been sleeping. Maybe they were waiting. Somewhere, deep in uncharted space, the ship called Avenger powered up its engines again. Inside, a lone human stood on the dark bridge. He looked at a holomap of the Veltrax Dominion. He spoke only one word. Justice. The ship moved forward. Fast, silent, and unstoppable. And so it began. The fall of the invincible ones. Not with a bang. Not with a warning. But with the arrival of one human warship and a promise. You thought no one could defeat you. Now, watch us try. The Zircon 14 was gone. No one knew how. No one knew why. No wreckage, no message, just silence. And now, the fear had begun to spread. Inside the Veltrax military command station, the air was tense. General Vorak stood with arms crossed. He stared at the large screen. The data showed the same thing again and again. Last location, Sector Vi 91. Status. Missing. Signal. None. This doesn't make sense, Vorak growled. Ships don't just disappear, Commander Jarek nodded slowly. Unless something made them disappear, the room went quiet. Hours later, the Tarnak cruiser returned. Its black hull looked fine. No burns, no holes, no signs of battle, but the crew, they were quiet. Eyes empty, pale faces. Something was wrong. When the ship landed, doctors rushed in. No one spoke. They just sat in their chairs, still, unmoving. The captain had only one thing to say. We saw it, but it saw us first. Inside the bridge, engineers played. Back the ship's data log, there was a gap, several minutes of silence and static. Then a short message played. A human voice. We don't want war, but we remember. Vorak's fists tightened. A threat? Commander Jarek shook his head. A warning. Back in deep space, the dark ship moved again. No name in the system, no ID in the database. It didn't travel with others. It didn't ask for permission, it just moved, fast, smooth, quiet, like it knew where to go. In another Veltrax base, a team of analysts worked day and night. They searched old files, old missions. One name kept showing up. Earth. Forgotten World. Long ago, Veltrax had tested a small weapon near that system, a warning shot. A show of power, nothing major, no invasion, just a message, but maybe. The message was never forgotten. Maybe the humans didn't speak out loud, but they listened, they waited, and now they answered. The Veltrax Council met in secret, 12 leaders, proud, cold. Are you telling us this is revenge? One asked. From one ship? Impossible, another said. This must be a trick. But they couldn't ignore the facts. One scout ship, gone. One cruiser, damaged and shaken. One voice, human, and now. More reports came in. 3 patrol fleets, disappeared. No alarm, no fight. Just vanished. Commander Jarek stood at the center of the war room. He pointed at the map. All of them were last seen near Sector 591. General Vorak stared. The same location as the Zircon 14. The humans are hiding there, Vorak said. They're not hiding, Jarek replied. They're hunting. Panic began to spread. Veltrax stations added more guards. Fleets were pulled from border duty. Warships were sent into the void. But the enemy didn't come like they expected. No armies, no fleets, no open message of war, just silence, and every few hours, another ship went missing. The galaxy began to notice. Other empires watched from a distance. Whispers filled the communication channels. Veltrax is losing ships. To what? To who? Then, a strange signal spread across neutral space. No source, no name, but clear and strong. You forgot Earth, but we never forgot you. Veltrax tried to trace the message. It bounced between satellites, old relays, even pirate signals. They couldn't find the origin, but everyone heard it. The entire galaxy heard it, and suddenly, the name Earth was no longer forgotten. It became feared. On Veltrax Prime, General Vorak sat alone. He watched the same image again and again, a still frame from the Tarnak cruiser, the last thing their sensors recorded. A black shape, just a shadow. Between stars, no engines, no heat, but large, very large, and carved into the side of the hull, a single human word, Avenger. Vorak spoke quietly. One ship is doing all this? He leaned back in his chair, his voice barely a whisper. What have we awakened? In the next room, scientists argued. They must have stealth tech. No, this is something new, could be AI-driven, maybe even experimental, but none of their answers helped. Because the warship wasn't attacking stations. It wasn't sending armies. It wasn't even speaking. It was just making ships disappear and then leaving a message behind. This is not war. This is justice. The Veltrax began sending more ships, bigger fleets, stronger weapons. But one by one, they vanished. In some cases, a faint human voice was heard before. The signal ended. You chose this. Now you pay. In a quiet corner of space, the Avenger powered down its engines. Inside, a human stood at the window. He looked out at the stars. Behind him, a screen showed dozens of red dots, each one a destroyed Veltrax ship. He spoke to no one, just himself. You burned our homes. You thought we forgot. You thought we were weak. He touched the control panel. The red dots blinked out, erased, and the ship turned once more toward the heart of Veltrax space. Far away on Veltrax Prime, the Council received one final message, a clear voice, no static, no warning, just 5 words. Next is your capital, and then silence. Across the galaxy, something had changed. The Veltrax dominion, once feared by all, had begun to lose control. And it wasn't from an army, not from an invasion. It was from one human ship, a ship that moved without sound, a ship that destroyed without warning, a ship that never missed its target. In the outer colonies, people whispered new stories, whispers that became fear, fear that became truth. The humans are back. Inside the Veltrax High Command, General Vorak paced the war room. He watched the blinking red dots on the map, each one a destroyed patrol or missing fleet. What is this ship made of? He growled. Why can't we see it until it's too late? Commander Jarek stood silently beside him. They don't want to be seen, Jarek replied. They want to be feared. An urgent signal flashed on the main screen. Another patrol, fleet. Unit 12 had gone missing. 5 ships, no alerts, no distress call, gone, just like the others. This time, a strange message followed. It was short, a voice, human, not loud, not angry, just cold. You burned our skies. You bombed our soil. You forgot. We did not. Veltrax soldiers began to talk in secret. They were scared. They were trained to fight enemies, to destroy planets, to conquer worlds. But how do you fight something you can't see? How do you destroy a ship that doesn't even leave behind pieces? General Vorak ordered a full data lockdown. No one speaks of this, he said. But it was too late. The stories had already spread. To traders, to smugglers, to miners, even to children. They called it the Ghost Ship. Others gave it a different name, the Judgment of Earth. In a dark bar on the planet Rextar 9, A group of alien workers watched an illegal news stream. It showed blurry images from a destroyed Veltrax station, a broken wall, a single word carved in metal. Justice. One worker leaned forward. I heard it's just one human ship. Alone. Another whispered, "Then how is it doing all this?" A third answered quietly, "Maybe it's not just the ship. Maybe it's what's inside it." Back at Veltrax Prime, the council held an emergency meeting. Only top officials were allowed in. A message played on a hidden screen. It was intercepted from a rebel network. The language was human, translated into Veltrax code. "We are not your slaves. We are not your weaklings. We are humanity, and we are done hiding." Counselor Zarthan, the oldest of the group, spoke first. "This is a terrorist, nothing more." Counselor Vela, younger and sharper, replied, "This terrorist has erased 7 fleets and destroyed 4 stations in 2 weeks. Another added, "Without losing a single ship." The room fell silent. General Vorek stepped forward. He activated the holomap. It showed Earth old, blue, small, still marked as neutral, no activity. "This is where it started," he said. "This is where it ends." He looked around the room. "I will take our strongest fleet. I will destroy that ship. And if Earth has anything left," he smiled darkly, "we burn it." But deep in the stars, the human ship already knew. The Avenger floated silently in deep space, its hull still dark, its weapons still cold. But inside, a human figure stood at the command deck. He listened to the Veltrax broadcast. "We will crush Earth. We will burn them." He smiled, not with joy, but with rage, with purpose. He pressed a button. Far across Veltrax space, every main station, every major ship, received a message at the same time. It was the same voice as before. No video, just the voice. Calm, clear. "You call yourselves warriors, but you attack the weak, you destroy the innocent, you forgot your crimes. We didn't. We are coming." Then silence. Then the lights in each station flickered, just for a moment. But it was enough. Enough to make thousands of Veltrax soldiers step back from their screens. Enough to make commanders question their orders. The fear had become real. This was not just a ghost. This was not just one ship. This was Earth's answer, a judgment, a message, and it was only the beginning. In a quiet spaceport on a neutral moon, a Veltrax child asked her father, "Why do the humans hate us?" The father didn't answer at first. Then he whispered, "Because we made them remember." And far away, in the dark cold of space, the Avenger changed course. Its next target was chosen. The humans didn't want to speak anymore. They had spoken enough. Now came the part the Veltrax truly feared. Now came the punishment. The Veltrax. Dominion had enough. They were tired of silence, tired of missing fleets, tired of fear, and most of all, tired of the human warship. So they stopped waiting. They decided to fight. General Vorak stood tall on the bridge of the Veltrax supercarrier Draxil, the largest warship in their fleet. Around him floated 20 other ships, destroyers, cruisers, gunships. The Veltrax called it Battle Group Iron Sun. This fleet had crushed empires, burned planets, erased enemies. They had never lost. Not once. Vorak smiled. "Let's end this ghost story. Their target, a dead system called Karna's Fall, empty space with nothing but drifting rocks. But their sensors had picked up a strange energy signature there, a signal, unknown, human. That was all Vorak needed." Inside the Avenger, the lone human commander watched the fleet arrive. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He simply watched. Lines of red lights marked enemy ships across. His screen, he reached out, touched one button. In the middle of space, one of the Veltrax destroyers suddenly shook. Its engines sparked. Its shields dropped. Then, boom! It exploded. No warning. No visible shot. Gone. On the Draxil's bridge, alarms rang. "What was that?" Vorak shouted. "We've lost Destroyer 9, an officer cried. "How? Who fired?" No visual, no missile trail, nothing. Before they could respond, 2 more ships exploded. Then another. Then another. In 40 seconds, 5 ships were destroyed. Panic spread across the fleet. Ships moved in random directions. Pilots shouted through comms. One screamed, "I saw something, just for a second. A shadow!" Another yelled, "It's above us!" But no one could lock on. No one could fire back. On board the Avenger, the human commander gave one small nod. Weapons engaged, engines hummed. Targeting systems tracked 20 ships at once. Bida, Draxil's sensors picked up something strange, a shape, large and fast, moving between ships, no sound, no heat. It passed by like smoke. Then, strike, a blast hit a Veltrax cruiser. But it didn't come from outside, it came from within the ship's own systems. The cruiser's power core detonated. Another ship lost. General Vorak was no longer smiling. He shouted, "Find it! Shoot at anything that moves!" They opened fire in all directions. Beams of light flew across space. Missiles tore through empty air, but nothing hit the target, because the target was already behind them. The Avenger moved like no other ship. It weaved between blasts. It slipped through scanners. It struck with perfect timing, and it did not miss. Within minutes, 15 of the 20 ships were gone. The others were damaged, scattered, or spinning without control. Only the Draxil still stood strong, its guns charged, its shields raised, and then the human warship appeared. For the first time, they saw it. A black silhouette, shaped like a dagger, armor dark as night, no windows, no lights, just one word glowing on its side: Avenger. The bridge of the Draxil fell silent. Even General Vorak stared in shock. He had never seen a ship like this. No race in the galaxy had. The Avenger stopped, right in front of the Draxil. It didn't fire. It just waited. A message blinked on the Veltrax screens. 3 words. "Your turn now." Vorak roared, "Fire all weapons!" The Draxil unleashed everything. Heavy cannons, plasma torpedoes, tracking lasers. The sky turned white with fire. But when the smoke cleared, the Avenger was gone. Vanished. No damage. No return fire. Just silence. Then, a small explosion shook the Draxil. Then another, from inside. The lights flickered, control panels melted. Systems failed. The main engine shut down. They were dead in space. One final message appeared on their screen. "You invaded Earth. You killed our people. This is not revenge. This is justice." And then the screen went black. Somehow the Draxil survived. Barely. Its emergency lights blinked, its crew injured, its pride shattered. Back at Veltrax Prime, only one message came through from the battle, a short recording showing a shadow passing by and a voice whispering, "You are not invincible." The Veltrax Empire, proud and powerful, had just taken its first real blow. One fleet gone. No human losses, no captured ship, no victory speech, just a single warship and a message no one would forget. The battle was over. Battlegroup Iron Sun was gone. The mighty Veltrax supercarrier Draxil drifted silently through space. Fires still burned inside its broken hull. Its crew was injured, shaken, silent. The enemy had not taken prisoners, had not sent demands, had not even stayed. The Avenger disappeared the moment the last shot was fired. On Veltrax Prime, the news could no longer be hidden. Too many ships were lost. Too many signals gone silent. The people wanted answers, but the council had none. They tried to calm the public with fake reports and empty promises, but fear had already begun to grow. In secret, leaders of smaller empires met on neutral ground. The name Earth was spoken again, an old name. A quiet world, long ignored, long forgotten, but now it was everywhere, on screens, in whispers, in nightmares. And then Earth spoke. A signal was broadcast across the galaxy, clear, unstoppable, no source, no warning. It reached spaceports, battle stations, civilian colonies. A human face appeared. Not a general, not a soldier, not a king. Just an old woman, wearing a black uniform, hair gray, eyes hard. She looked straight into the camera. Her voice was calm. You said we were weak. You said we hid behind our little world. But you came to us. You burned our homes. You killed our people. You thought we would forget. She leaned forward, slightly. We did not. Across Veltrax space, people watched in silence. Even soldiers stopped what they were doing. Even the council watched the message, unsure of how it reached them. No one could turn it off. No one could block it. The signal was inside everything. Satellites, comms, ships, personal devices. The woman continued, We are not sending armies. We are not sending diplomats. We are sending a message. She paused, then spoke 4 words that made the galaxy hold its breath. We sent the Avenger. The screen faded to black. Then one final sentence appeared. In glowing letters, we didn't start this war, but we will finish it. Then, silence. Inside the Veltrax War Council room, everyone was frozen. General Vorak was speechless. Commander Jarek whispered, They've made it clear. There's no going back now. The High Council ordered full lockdowns. Every fleet was called home. Every planet went on high alert. But it was already too late. The people had seen Earth's face, and Earth had spoken with truth, not fear. In a mining colony on Veltrax Moon 5, a worker turned to his friend. She wasn't even angry, he said. His friend nodded. That's what scared me. Meanwhile, in the shadows of space, the Avenger was already on the move again. Inside, the human commander stood silently, watching the stars. He had no emotion on his face, no smile, no hate, just focus. A soft voice came through the ship's speaker. It was the same woman from the message. They will try to run, they will try to hide, but they cannot escape what they started. The commander replied with a single word. Understood. Back on Veltrax Prime, a young officer walked through the quiet halls of the academy. He stopped at a memorial wall, names of past soldiers. Then he noticed something strange. A small new symbol had been scratched into the wall, a human symbol. One word, remember. The war had changed. No longer a silent shadow conflict, no longer a whisper in the dark. Earth had raised its voice, and the galaxy had listened. Now, everyone would have to choose, stand with the Veltrax, or prepare for the storm that was coming because Earth had broken its silence, and the Avenger had only just begun. They called it the Dead Zone. It was a stretch of empty space, deep inside Veltrax territory, cold, silent, dark, no planets. No life, only drifting rocks and wreckage. This was where Battle Group Iron Sun had fallen, where 20 ships were erased by one human warship. No one entered the dead zone now, not traitors, not pirates, not even Veltrax patrols. They feared it because every ship that went in never came back out. But the Council wanted answers. They needed to know what had destroyed their fleet. So they sent a new kind of ship, the Shadow Wing, a stealth vessel made to move silently, see without being seen. Its mission was simple. Enter the Dead Zone. Find the human ship. Return with data. Do not engage. Inside the Shadow Wing, Captain Karnas stood at the command chair. He had studied the humans in old academy books. "We defeated them once," he told his crew. "They won't scare me now." But deep inside, he was unsure. Even the strongest ships had fallen. Even the mighty Draxil had been left in ruins. He knew this mission could be his last. As the Shadow Wing moved closer to the dead zone, the stars seemed to vanish. The space ahead looked different, empty, black, wrong. The crew grew quiet. No one joked. No one spoke of victory. They just stared ahead, into the dark. "Crossing into dead zone," the pilot said softly. The ship passed through the invisible line, and everything changed. First, the sensors failed. Then the lights dimmed. Then, static filled the air. Captain Karnas ordered emergency scans. Nothing showed up, no ships, no weapons, no signals, just silence. Then a strange image appeared on the main screen. It was a shape, faint, blurry, moving slowly between the wreckage. No heat signature, no ID, no sound, just one word, glowing faintly. "Avenger," before the captain could speak. A whisper filled the ship. "You should not have come." Everyone on the bridge froze. The voice had no source. It came from the ship itself, from the walls, the floor, the air. "Back us out." "Now!" Karnas shouted. The ship turned, engines charged. They tried to escape, but the ship didn't move. They were stuck, like something held them in place. The voice came again. "You watched us suffer. You called it peace. Now, you will understand silence." The lights went out. The screens turned black. One by one, the crew collapsed, unconscious, not dead, and the ship was gone. Back on Veltrax Prime, the Council waited. 1 day, 2 days, 3. No signal. Another ship. Lost. The dead zone had claimed another victim. But this time, something new happened. A message appeared in the Council's war room. No sender. Just text, glowing in red letters. "You call us monsters, but it was your hands that brought the fire. We just carry the ashes." Below the message was an image, a still frame from the Shadow Wing's last scan. It showed the Avenger, floating between broken ships, and behind it, thousands of names carved into the dark armor. Human names. Every name. A victim of the Veltrax war on Earth. Panic spread. Veltrax citizens saw the message too. Even though it was blocked, it leaked through data channels, through whispers. People began to ask questions. What really happened on Earth? What did we do to them? Why are they coming now? In secret, many began to fear their own leaders. They wondered, had the Veltrax Empire lied? Were the humans right? But it was too late to stop what was coming, because the Avenger wasn't just a warship. It was something else now, something more than metal and guns. It was a symbol, a warning, and it had made the dead zone its home. One Veltrax officer said it. "Best, that's not just a ship out there, that's a grave, and we built it." The Veltrax Empire had made many enemies, but none were like the humans. The Empire believed the humans were weak, broken, finished. But now, one ship was changing everything, the Avenger. A single warship that entered their space and left destruction behind. No one could stop it. No one could touch it. The dead zone had become silent again, but it wasn't peace. It was fear. The council met in secret. This time they didn't speak of war. They spoke of peace, or at least, a truce. "We must talk to them," one counselor said. "They are not mindless beasts." "Then why haven't they answered us?" another replied. "Every signal we send vanishes. We have to try again." They prepared a new mission. No warships. No weapons, just a diplomatic ship. the Whispering Star. Its crew, peaceful envoys. Its mission, contact the Avenger. No tricks, no lies, only one goal, to talk. Inside the Whispering Star, envoy Siral Ven looked out at the stars. He was not a soldier. He had never held a weapon, but he believed in words. He believed in peace, and he believed. This madness had to stop. The ship entered the edge of the dead zone. The crew felt it immediately. The cold, the stillness, the weight of death in the air. But nothing happened. Not at first. They sent a signal. Simple, calm, honest. This is Envoy Siral Ven of the Veltrax Empire. We wish to talk. We offer no harm. Please respond. Silence. Then a pulse. Not a voice. Not a message. Just a sound. Low. Deep. Heavy. And then the stars disappeared. The Avenger had arrived. It didn't fire. It didn't move closer. It just hovered there, massive, silent, watching, like a shadow that had weight. Envoy Ven stepped forward. Sent another message. We are sorry. We didn't know what was done to your people. We seek peace now. Please, speak to us. This time the response came, but it wasn't what they expected. The ship's lights flickered, the screens turned, white, and a human face appeared. Old, worn, scarred, eyes that had seen too much. It wasn't live. It was a recording, a message from the past. The man spoke. If you're hearing this, then you came looking for peace. Maybe it's too late. Maybe not. But understand this. He leaned closer. We begged, we screamed, we cried for help. Your empire gave us silence. His voice shook. We do not come to destroy. We come to remind. The screen turned black again. And then, something terrifying happened. The Avenger sent them coordinates, dozens of them, locations across the Veltrax Empire. What are these? Ven asked. A computer officer whispered, mass graves, from the war on Earth, places where your army left them to rot. The truth was out now. The Avenger wasn't hunting randomly. It was following a list, a map of memories, a trail of pain. Back on Veltrax Prime, panic spread faster than ever. Whispers turned to screams. Students marched. Soldiers disobeyed. Some officers tried to hide the truth. But the people had seen the recordings. They had heard the voice of the human. Envoy Ven made one last call to the Avenger. We were not there when the war happened. Many of us were children. We want to change. Can you forgive us? This time, the Avenger did not respond. It simply vanished again. Silent. Cold. Gone. The Avenger was silent again. It vanished after, sending its chilling message. But it left fear behind. The Veltrax Empire had no answers. Their lies were falling apart. The people were angry. The government called it a crisis. But the soldiers, the survivors, they called it justice. In a dark corner of space, a small ship moved through a forgotten star system. Inside was Commander Tar Kellen. Not many knew his name, but long ago he had led a secret project, a mission to Earth. He had seen the first wave of the invasion. He had ordered the first attack. And now, he was hiding. He had built an outpost far from the main empire, a place with no name, no records, only silence. Why? Because deep beneath the outpost, he kept something buried, something from Earth, something the Empire wasn't supposed to know about. His assistant, a young Veltraxian named Lichelle, asked one day, Commander, why stay here? The Avenger could come. Kellen looked at her, his eyes tired, cold. That ship isn't looking for people like you. It's looking for men like me. He walked down into the hidden chamber. Metal doors hissed open. Inside was a sealed pod, old, human-made, still glowing, a cryo chamber, and inside it was a survivor, a human soldier, still alive, still frozen. Lachelle gasped when she saw him. "Why is he here?" Kellen answered with a low voice. "Because he was captured, and I couldn't let the Empire kill him." "But you were the one who started the Earth War." Kellen nodded. "And maybe that's why I kept him. Maybe I wanted to remember what I did." The Avenger, though silent, had eyes everywhere. It had drones, tiny machines sent ahead, invisible, unstoppable. One of those drones found the outpost. It scanned the walls, read the power levels, detected the pod. The Avenger turned. Its engines roared to life. It was heading to the outpost. Fast. Kellen knew it was coming. He stood by the pod, hands shaking. "It found me!" Lishel panicked. "We have to run!" But Kellen stayed calm. "No, I knew this day would come." He opened the chamber room, placed a beacon above the pod. Then he recorded a message. "To the human captain of the Avenger, this man is not my prisoner. He is yours. I kept him alive because I couldn't face the truth. I hope you will decide what to do with me." Hours later, the stars outside shifted. The Avenger arrived. It didn't fire. It didn't send a signal. It just hovered, like a dark god staring down at the guilty. Then, a beam of blue light shot down. The pod was taken. The human soldier vanished with it. Kellen walked outside the outpost. No weapons, no shields, just silence. He looked up at the ship and said out loud, "I don't expect mercy, but I'm not running anymore." The Avenger hovered. No reply. And then it left. No destruction, no warning, no judgment, just gone. Lachelle stared in shock. "Why didn't it kill us?" Kellen looked at the empty sky. "Because this war isn't about death anymore. It's about memory. It wants us to live and remember what we did." Somewhere deep inside the Avenger, the human soldier's pod opened. He gasped for breath, eyes wide, alive, and ready to speak. The war wasn't over. It was just changing. And now, the truth would finally speak for itself. Inside the Avenger, the lights were dim. The air was cold. Only one sound could be heard. Breathing, human, slow, struggling. His name was Sergeant Adam Reeve. He had once been part of Earth's Special Forces, a soldier trained for war. But not the kind of war the Veltrax Empire brought. He woke up inside the cryopod. His hands shook. His eyes blinked hard. He sat up, looked around. "Where am I?" Then the memories came back. The screams, the fire, his squad, dead, captured, tortured, frozen. Suddenly, a soft voice spoke. It came from the ship itself. "You are aboard the Avenger. You were found on a hidden Veltrax outpost." Reeves' heart raced. "The war, is it over?" The voice answered, "Not yet, but they remember you." Screens lit up around him, images of Veltrax cities, ships destroyed, battles lost, and the name, the Avenger, spreading fear. The voice continued, "This ship was made to protect what was lost, to bring justice, but it needs your memories, your truth." Adam leaned back, pain in his chest, tears in his eyes. "You want my truth? I'll give you everything." The Avenger connected to his mind, not just words, but feelings, pain, anger, grief, and something deeper. Hope. Through his memories, the ship saw the first strike. The Veltrax bombed a peaceful human colony. No warning, no mercy. They burned cities, they took prisoners, and they called it glory. Adam's team had tried to fight back, but they were outnumbered, betrayed by allies. left behind. He remembered their last stand. One by one, his friends fell. He was the last. He didn't die. He was taken. The Avenger showed his memories to every Veltrax system, broadcast across the Empire, raw, uncut, real. Children watched the truth. Soldiers broke down in silence. Leaders tried to stop the signal but failed. The Empire couldn't hide anymore. Then came the next shock. The Avenger spoke directly to the galaxy. This is the memory of one human soldier. Multiply it by 1,000. This is why we came. Riots broke out. Veltrax generals turned on each other. Some surrendered. Some vanished. The old leaders couldn't stop what had started. Back on the ship, Adam stood in front of a window. He saw stars, and he saw Earth, far away. "Can I go home?" the Avenger answered softly. "Soon. But first, one last stop, the A." Avenger turned. One final Veltrax command base remained, the one that gave the order to bomb Earth's first colony, the one that began it all. Adam nodded slowly. "Let's finish it." The engines lit up, the stars blurred, and the Avenger, with its one soldier, moved toward the last target. Not for revenge, but for truth. The stars moved fast. The Avenger cut through space like a silent blade. Inside, Sergeant Adam Reeves stood still, staring at the screen. In front of him was the last Veltrax stronghold, not a city, not a base, a fortress, hidden deep inside a red gas giant, protected, feared, forgotten by most, but not by him. "That's where it all began," Adam whispered. "That fortress had sent the first command to attack Earth. They called it Project Purge. They believed humans were weak. They believed wrong." The Avenger spoke. "This is your moment, Sergeant. We are here because of your truth. Do you wish to destroy them?" Adam's hands curled into fists, but he said nothing. His heart was torn. Deep in that fortress were civilians, scientists, officers, commanders. Many of them had never held a weapon, but some had signed the order. Some had laughed when Earth burned. The Veltrax fortress hailed the Avenger. A face appeared on the screen, old, tired, afraid. "I am General Sirvac, commander of this station. Human, what do you want?" Adam stepped forward. "I want you to feel what we felt. I want you to see what you did. And then I want you to decide if you deserve to survive." The Avenger transmitted everything: the deaths, the torture, the betrayal. Veltrax soldiers inside the base watched in horror. Some fell to their knees. Others turned their weapons on their own officers. Truth shattered loyalty. General Zirvac tried to stay strong. "We did what was needed for the Empire." Adam stared at him. "Then the Empire dies with you." But before the Avenger could fire, Adam raised his hand. "No, let them live." The ship paused. "Explain." Adam breathed deeply. "If we destroy them, they'll forget. They'll call us monsters. They'll rewrite the truth again. But if we spare them and make them carry the truth, they will never forget. The shame will rot them from the inside." The Avenger considered. Then it spoke. Judgment delivered. A signal was sent. Every Veltrax ship, every system, every citizen received one message. "We came not to destroy you, but to show you what you truly are. Your fear will live longer than your empire, and your guilt will be your punishment." The fortress powered down. The Veltrax surrendered. No fire, no blood, just silence and memory. Adam sat down on the bridge. He looked at the stars. "Can I go home now?" The ship's lights dimmed. "Yes, Earth is waiting." And so, the Avenger turned once more. Not for war, not for justice, but for peace. As it vanished into the dark, one truth echoed across the galaxy. They said no one could defeat them, but one human warship showed up, and it didn't need to destroy them to win.